I forgot to ask you about, I mean, the sign is, you've had this sign for how long?
Okay, the original sign.
You know what? Let's get this question on.
Wait. Let me go get you something. Hold on, stay right here. Let me go get it.
Greg, you want some pizza?
I'm gonna get you the.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I'm gonna get you the sign, the sketch.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. I gotta get the keys. Hold on. Evie's did leave. Surrey, call 305-221-0221. Let me call him. The original sign, I have the sketch from 1958. The artist did.
You're kidding me.
No. Hey, Claudia, it's Roxanne. Can you bring me the keys for next door to unlock the office?
I'm sorry, Rob?
Can you bring me the keys for the office?
Oh, okay. What are you?
I'm next door. I'm behind the office.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much. The original sign went down in Hurricane Andrew. Okay.
Really?
Yes. And you know what? So it went down. When we pulled up, they were trying to steal it. All right. We were blessed that we were able to get a, secure it,
Yeah.
cover it up. And at the time, we couldn't, we had to find, back then and during Hurricane Andrew, you didn't have electricity,
No.
you didn't have phones.
No.
The cell phone towers were all out.
Yep.
So there was like no way of finding somebody to get it. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
Okay, cool.
This is the sketch that was done by the artist, okay, of the sign, okay?
All right, well, let's get this story. Okay.
In 1958, all right? So, obviously they didn't, how Art Deco it is, they didn't end up, it ended
With the
up
little
being a
piano type
pole,
thing,
but
yeah.
everything else. And so what happened, the sign went down and we had to get it remade. Like they took that sign
Yeah.
to there and they completely did it exactly like it was. So, and then it even has like
It's a great sign.
in the back, you could see, but you can't, it's covered, like the stamp from Dade County and the approval. But,
this is so cool.
if you notice here,
Yeah.
see it Canal,
Yeah.
Mohawk. Back in the day, when you would pick up the phone, you'd have an operator and you'd say Canal, which was 2210,
Yeah.
was 221. Canal was a different number, maybe 279 or something. And the pizza shop was Canal 0221. And that was my parents' address where they were living. And, for their phone number and their address,
So
okay, for the...
Cool. That is a really cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the sign is kind of iconic in this part of town.
It
And
is.
you're right. When the sun goes down, the way it's facing, you see these beautiful sunsets, and then you see this sign that's almost like a cool
right
old
now
school Las Vegas
the
sign.
lights aren't working correctly on the pizza part. It's constantly, the maintenance. And it to find someone to because we still have the old neon around obviously it gets reblown, but most people aren't going to do that. They're going to change it to, something that's going to be more cost effective and cheaper, not blown neon. So if you have like a tornado comes through or whatever, you have somebody, you've got neon out and we have a young man that is, he can do it, because a lot of places don't know how to
They
fix
don't know how to do the old school stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and know where to get the parts for it and stuff like that. So it's a challenge,
Very
it's
cool.
definitely a challenge. I mean, we were heartbroken when it went down, but we're grateful it's back up.
It's an awesome sign.
Yeah,
It's
it means a
very cool
lot,
sign.
it really means a lot.
My whole family today is jealous that I'm here. 'Cause
Really?
they're like, well,
You can take some
no,
half
no,
bake
at
home
the end
to
I'm
them.
going to buy a couple pies because No, yes.
All right,
Yeah.
so this is a picture of my dad.
No way. Get that, Frankie. Handsome guy.
He was.
I got it. You got his eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. So born in Italy? Where in Italy?
No, he was born here in the States.
Ah, okay.
And his mom was sent over from Italy to marry his father.
Really?
Like, I don't really know if it was an arranged marriage or like here, maybe, you know, I
Get
don't really
married,
know.
Different
Like,
time, man.
yeah.
Yeah, you look like your dad big time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's Dad. This is actually the first pizza shop.
Now, was
And,
he always a cook and
Oh yeah, my dad was. His mother was a really good cook, obviously, and you know, and he was her right hand. Like he was always in the kitchen with her. And
Yeah.
so when when Renee and I were growing up, when Mom cooked, you know, because back then, to go out to dinner was a treat, or to
Sure,
bring
right,
like Chinese food home or something home. You know, I actually have a Pizza Patio. Do you remember Pizza Patio?
No.
Okay, Pizza Patio was where the Bank United is.
Okay.
And it was like a car hop where you would pull up and they'd come out on skates and serve you. A customer, because of the 70th anniversary, a young man that worked for us who's now, older, well, I guess was going through some stuff, and he found an old menu.
Really
You had Pizza Patio over there. Pizza Palace was on 87th Avenue where Pollo Tropical is.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where like the guys in the hot muscle cars and things like that back in the 70s and 60s, you know, because Bird Road was like a racing.
Right. It was a race. Right.
All right. But this is the patio.
Oh my God. Well, I got to take a picture. I'm going to send this to my parents.
Okay. They would remember. Okay. And tradition was on Sunday watching Dolphin game, because Dad didn't open up till 4:00 in the afternoon. We would go to Pizza Patio and get a submarine sandwich. Look at that price, 80 cents. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
No. And it was the best. And it was funny because I'd always tell people, oh my God, as a little kid, that was, like one of our, like a treat. Like we, on Sunday, Dolphin Sunday, go to Pizza Patio, get a submarine sandwich. They were pressed and they were so good. Really, really good.
All right. How much do you think a large pizza was?
Back.
What, maybe
That was in the 60s.
Couple, $2.50 or something?
$1.30.
$1.30.
80 cents for a sandwich, for a sub sandwich, you know? It was so, so good. 80 cents. Can
How
you
much a
imagine?
burger? What do you think a burger was?
$1.75.
45 cents.
Was that it?
Yeah, man.
Holy crap.
So this is 19...
That's got to be in the 60s. That's got to be the 60s.
What?
The Pizza Patio.
Oh yeah. Look how
So
much.
I love it. When you weren't working here eating pizza, you would go still eat pizza.
Renee would.
Renee would.
Yeah.
I eat pizza every day, so I don't I don't eat pizza. I eat anything but pizza. You know, it's either
Not me.
you know
I went to the fair and guess what I got?
Pizza.
pizza. Yeah.
And an elephant ear.
Where do I put this?
Oh,
Here,
you
just
just-
set it right here.
So it just. And then there was also like, pizza on the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Ours is 2210221, and I think theirs is 2210220. It was very similar. And so back in the 60s that they would come over and people would call and say, oh, I want to reserve a lane. And the guys at work would go, oh yeah, come on down, we got it for you. So they would end up taking orders over there because people would come in and go, we in the 60s and 70s, they were like, no, we don't have that order. But Bird Bowl had taken the order at a prank, against Frankie's because of what Frankie's did to Bird Bowl. So
What did Frankie do to Bird Bowl?
okay, well, what the phone numbers are very similar. 2210221. What's Bird Bowl?
2211221.
1221. So at night we would get orders to reserve a lane, and the people that would work got tired of saying no, you got the wrong number. They'd just say, oh yeah, come on down, we got a lane for you. And then they started taking the orders.
Yeah.
And not, and people would walk in and we're like, oh, we're sorry, we don't have that order,
Yeah, you
But
don't have to phone
they're
them.
still busy. They do well, right?
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
incredible.
It's
there.
incredible.
We
They're
did her
expanding.
birthday.
Because
yes.
we did it, right, a couple years ago?
Yeah, but they're even expanding if you've noticed when you go over there, because that's, they've been around a couple years after us. They're, I mean, I know it's not the original family, but but it's just neat to.
Because even Graziano's has been around since the 60s, right?
I'm not sure, but I think so.
Because they had the market and then the
Yes.
restaurant.
Yeah,
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and they're good. They have good food.
yeah, they have great food. I love the potato salad.
Oh.
It's like it's
If you ever
so
want to go to a
good.
good steakhouse.
Oh, well, Renee will go over there, but
Oh.
she'll get stuff. And
Oh, okay,
take it
yeah.
home.
I mean, the steak, the empanadas, even the pasta is really good.
Yep.
And we were there probably about 2 months ago on I think a Thursday night. It was packed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, man. And they have now like 4 locations, right? Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's one in the Gables. But he sent this. It was just really, really nice. You know what I mean?
That's super cool.
Yeah,
Pizza Patio.
and because I kept, and it was, you know, it's funny how things come to you when you put it in the universe. You know, because I kept saying, oh my God, you know, because people will always come in and say, hey, do you remember Pizza Patio? Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite sub sandwich in the whole world. You know. And it just brings back happy memories, you know, of Dad watching the Dolphins in the 70s. Yay!
Yeah.
Go Fins!
Go
you
Fins.
know? Still a Fin fan.
Go Finn. Yeah. What other classics are still around, like restaurants, family?
Well, I mean, Shorty's. I mean, we grew up with Shorty's.
We did too.
You know,
But they just sold the land, right?
they sold the land. Supposedly, when they build, Shorty's is supposed to be underneath. I'm not sure, you know, but I mean, I always go to the one on Bird here because it's just closer.
Yeah.
But, you know, the one on US 1, remember how, you might be too young to remember, but the original before it burnt down was all sawgrass in
I
there.
absolutely remember that
Yeah.
as a kid.
And I can remember people going, oh my God, why would you want to go in there? There's sawgrass on the...
And it gave it character. It was
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. But they sold that land for, I think, a pretty good number.
Everything's going up.
Yeah.
That's
Same with the
sad.
Norman Brothers family. They sold that land
Yeah.
for a lot of money.
They all retired. Everybody retired, moved away, you know, and you know, it's a lot. People don't realize when, you know, like especially around the holidays, you know, that's when we're really ramped up with the shipping and people coming back into town, picking up pizza or half bakes or traveling with them and things like that. That we, you know, it's a time when people are celebrating, but you're working harder when you're in the restaurant business. And, you know, it's kind of like if you don't, you know, it's not like Dad used to say, you got to get it while it's there because it might not be there the next day.
Right.
So if you don't take advantage of it, it might not be there.
So you also have used the parking lot for the U-Hauls and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yes,
smart.
and just on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. It started out over there and then it got moved over here.
So you have this hole and then this side. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, it's a great, and it's a corner lot, right? Or no?
No, we don't have the gas station, but that's a corner lot. That goes out to Bird. That goes out
And
to
this blue building, the credit, what is that? That thing's been there forever.
Crest Cleaners. Oh, that's another one that's, you know, Jerry, his family started it, and he's continued the, you know, the legacy.
I
Jerry.
should interview him.
Yeah, well, Renee will give you his number.
He's a good guy?
Yeah, very good guy.
And what? And
We
they're
went to
they're-
high school together.
They're like just dry cleaners, or they're
Yeah, dry cleaners. Yeah.
because I mean they've been in business since forever, right?
He's got a great iconic sign. I want him to get it, my guy, to like get it going like
Yeah.
it used to turn around. Remember?
And yeah, that's right. And do they do commercial cleaning or it's just every day?
You just I get everyday dry cleaner.
Yeah,
and
because
I'm
they
sure
have
they
a
do
big
commercial.
location.
Renee, can you give him Jerry's number?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah.
He'd be a good guest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. He's
Yeah,
very-
he's been, but they've been here how many years now? They're right behind us. I don't know. I think he had his, they're right behind us, his 65th or 60th.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
There's not a lot of you know, I think Bird Road has a lot of longevity. It just from, you know, 87th Avenue.
And now Sergio's, the son, Carlos is running it.
And
And
they got a bunch of locations now.
And
Yeah.
do you know that, at least this is what I heard, and maybe you can verify if you do the podcast, that at the time it was his Carlos's mom and grandmother.
Yeah.
And,
Or sister.
No, I think it was the grandmother. But it's a fabricated name. They just knew that like in the Latin market, like a man's name would just gather,
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, maybe it is a relative's name that they used or whatever, but
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
they were the heart behind the restaurant.
Because no one there is called Sergio.
Well, it was Mom.
Well, there might be
remember
some, but I don't. But
They've been in business, what, 50 years, probably?
Oh, more, I would think. I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
no, he's getting ready to do his 60th. He's planning on his 60th. Yeah, that's a big one
That's nuts.
for them. Yeah, because that used to be a hot dog place, right? Remember?
It was a Lums. It used to be Lums.
Lums, remember Lums?
Yeah.
That they would make the hot dogs and beer, right? Or something like that?
Lums was further down.
No, that was Lums.
Was Lums based out of Miami?
No, it wasn't, Rock, because I used to go in Toilet Paper Stanley's house right after, and we used to
Toilet
go down the side street.
Really?
It was where Lums was where the 7-Eleven was.
Oh,
Yeah. It was a hot dog place at one time.
really?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to ask him. I mean, would he know the history? He would know the history.
No, but I'd love to get back there in those cards over at the county in
Uh-huh.
that back area to see all the names and
All the
stuff
names of
of
the
all the
spots.
restaurants and stuff. Because we found an old picture, and this building was a liquor store, and I don't remember that. That was before
No,
our
not
time.
when we were growing
Not
up.
when we were growing up, but during the Norman Brother picture, if you look behind, you see
Oh,
the
yeah. Let me
liquor
see. I
store.
might have it in my phone. Hold on,
Yeah,
that
you
picture.
can
Of
see
what,
the-
the original?
The
Or your,
pi-
your,
of
light
Norm-
your light is on.
Oh,
I
the
want you
sorry.
to
Norman
eat your
Brother
battery.
picture. One of them, and I don't know if Tim Farley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. This is from Slice.
Look at that. Wow.
Now Slice is they're verifying his contact he's renting a van. They're having a hard time verifying his contact information. But Slice has empowered small pizza businesses.
Okay.
They his family runs several pizza places in New York,
Uh-huh.
and his uncle had a stroke like our father. So he really kind of
Connected with you guys.
right, and he's very nice. He came here and met us,
Uh-huh.
and we signed up with him when he first started. So basically, they're an online site that you can make your pickup and delivery order, and he also gives out like coupons and stuff
Yeah.
that he ends up eating. He went to college, and he became a techie guy, and
Yeah.
he tried to make his family their lives easier because he grew up in a pizzeria like
How
we
tough
did.
it is, yeah.
And so now he has given us like buying power with our boxes. They went up to $2 a box. And we're like, there's no way we can do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like right before you came, the cheese guy was like, well, we want to charge you like $1 more for this cheese that
Yeah,
we
like,
want, a pound. And it's like, we can't,
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? We want to, but it's like, you got to be realistic.
Yeah.
So, but he has given pizzerias buying power.
So he consolidates, uses all the buying power of all the pizzerias.
Right. And he makes it, he's an amazing person. He is helping, and he even has like Zoom meetings where we all get together and talk, or,
That's cool.
whatever.
Good for him.
Somebody who's having a hard time,
Yeah.
what would another pizzeria do
Yeah.
in that instance, so yeah, it's kind of a neat thing, He's become very successful, but he's also helped a lot of pizzerias.
But you know what? Like when you order on Uber or DoorDash, Uber is so difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And-
what every restaurant I know.
Okay. Like,
Why? What are the big?
Okay.
Say here, please.
no, I'm good. One of the things is this: when you have a problem,
Yeah.
when you're in restaurant business, you want to fix it.
Right.
You want to take care of your customer
Right.
right away. With them, it's like if I call and they'll say, hey, they forgot the garlic rolls, or we were out of something, can I get you da-da-da-da-da? They'll go, oh no, the customer has to call in for the credit, or the customer has to email us for the credit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why can't I just do that right now? Give you the information, here's the order number, I just want to get them this credit. No, we can't do that. With Slice, and another thing that Uber does,
Yeah.
they won't give you your customer's phone number.
No, it's their customer. The way.
Right.
Yeah.
And even though, so they give you a 1-888 number, and then they give you a code to put in. So when somebody sees it coming, they don't know it's from Frankie's Pizza or from Uber. They think it's somebody trying to sell them something. They don't pick up. Nobody picks up their phones anymore.
I don't pick it up
unless you notice. Oh, that's a Frankie's, or that's my wife, or my husband, or my child's calling, because they don't want to be bothered. So it's like, if you get somebody to pick up their phone, they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for picking up the phone, But the thing is, with Slice, they give you the phone number of the customer. I call them up. I'll say, hey, we need to credit somebody. They didn't get something that they ordered. Please do the credit. Not a problem. Thank you. By click. That's it.
Yeah,
no mas.
No
and
mas,
it's like so simple. And it should be taken care of right away. Yeah. And I think one of the concepts that they do that is people get frustrated that they have to take an extra step. They just sell you the hell with it, and then Uber doesn't have to do their job, or they don't have to credit somebody back money that they can keep.
And they take a big piece, don't they?
They do. And that's, when people think, why is everything going up? Yeah. That's why you're having to...
another middleman that's taking their slice.
Yeah, and that's it. Where with Slice, it's not as bad. So it's definitely, So
Slice is an ordering app. It's not just a procurement that helps you buy.
It's, they'll come in, they'll set up your website, you order on their platform.
So if I order with you direct on the web, it's through them?
Through them, right.
And do you guys deliver how far?
They deliver like 5 or 6 miles,
5 or so you don't go to Brickell.
But they actually, Slice gets Uber Eats to deliver their drivers. Like they use their drivers.
Yeah, the Uber Eats drivers, they shop for everybody.
Yeah, so Slice uses Uber Eats. Like they don't have their own drivers. I guess they contract out with Uber Eats. And like I've heard people say, oh, I don't like the drivers. Like I'm going to tell you what I saw for a while. I saw a lot of people who've just come over. They don't really understand, the phones, how to work the phones and things like that. We were helping them with the app and stuff like that. The one good thing that Uber Eats did do now is people would pick up and then they wouldn't finish the process. You know what I mean? Like they'd pick up the order and then not deliver it. I get calls from a customer going, hey, I didn't get my order. So we were having to call Uber and say, hey, this got picked up. They now have a QR code on the papers that are printed out that when they come, they have to scan that they picked it up.
So what were they doing? Just eating it or whatever, taking off?
I think that what they were doing is they were using someone else's, like a relative's name and social and things to work.
Good point.
And they just probably didn't know how to get there and just gave up, because they were frustrated.
Yeah.
They were new here to the country and they just didn't. And I mean, I saw that, and there was quite a bit of that started, but then they put a stop to it because they figured, okay, if you scan it, you're paying for it if you don't deliver it, which should be. And because they were good about compensating us and compensating the customer, but then the customer, then the customer has to reorder, and the process starts all over again. So and they're just like, oh, forget it, I'll just go pick something up somewhere. So but they did curtail that. I saw a lot of that happening. So
you've been generous with your time. How about we get a tour of the pizzeria, and I'll get out of your hair.